level. Thank you so much, SAA. And at this point, I'd like to welcome a few of our executive committee members just to tell us how they are crushing their public speaking and leadership goals in the year 2025. I'll start with our very able Vice President for Public Relations. Over to you, Kevin Rubia.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This year, I am crushing my public speaking goals by finally becoming a distinguished Toastmaster. Back to you, Mr. President.
Amazing stuff, big goals, big steps. All the best to you, Dr. Kevin Rubia, as you challenge yourself at Watabaruku Toastmasters Club. Forwards and onwards, I have the privilege of welcoming our Sergeant at Arms, and holding fort this evening is none other than Neema Siwingwa. Over to you, Neema, so that you can tell us how you are crushing your goals in 2025 when it comes to public speaking and leadership.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good evening, everyone. This year, I'm crushing my goals in leadership by ensuring that in all the clubs that I serve, we have a smooth handover process and a robust, grooming process as well, so that seasoned Toastmasters can move on and new Toastmasters can take on the reins. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Neema, for that. Indeed, succession planning is part of leadership. And where else will you learn it to do it better? It is only at Toastmasters. I can see we have a few guests joining us today, and I'd like to invite a few guests just to introduce themselves to us and to tell us how they think this evening's meeting at Watabaruku will help them crush their 2025 goals. And to start us off, I'd like to welcome Joseph Ndungu. Joseph, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Ndungu. This 2025, I'm trying to become a better speaker. That's why I've joined this group. What I envision for the next 2 hours is to understand what I learn, and just to, I don't know what to expect, but I know this is the place you come to when you want to learn how to be a good speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Indeed, you are spot on. You are in the right place to learn how to become a better speaker. And in a short while, it will be introduced to you as to how you can achieve this goal. Okay, I'd like to welcome Job Kuriandungu. Job Kuriandungu, please introduce yourself to us and give us a snapshot of how you think our today's meeting will help you in achieving your 2025 goals. Over to you, Mr. Kuriel. Job Ndungu. Okay, as Job is preparing his equipment to reach out to us, I'll invite Joyce Wangari. Joyce Wangari, I see you have just joined us, and I'd like to invite you to introduce yourself and to tell us how you think our meeting this evening will help you in achieving your 2025 goals.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Joyce Wangari. I am from the Rai Toastmasters. Glad to be here. I think through this meeting, one of my 2025 goal is becoming a better speaker. And I think from this meeting, I'll get 1 or 2 tips on how to do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joyce. And it is indeed my sincere hope that you get more than 1 or 2 tips. You will get more and more to push you to the next level. Thank you so much, Joyce. And last but not least, I'd like to welcome Dean Robertson. Mr. Dean has been a good friend of Watabaruku Toastmasters Club. Please introduce yourself to our meeting this evening. Tell us where you're joining us from and how you will be crushing your goals in 2025. Over to you, Dean.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm from Houston, Texas, so I'm not close by, but you guys are many hours ahead of me. My day just started, but I'm looking to always be encouraged and just because I may have been in Toastmasters for 10 years now, which is small compared to some people, but we're always learning, we're always stretching, and I love to hear speakers so that I can pick up some tips, and especially the evaluation part, because even though I've been a Toastmaster for a while, I can always do better with evaluation. So I like to learn new tips and techniques for giving back productive feedback to our speakers. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Dean. Thank you for joining us early in the morning. And thank you also for keeping encouraging us to keep on learning despite being Toastmasters for a while. And to the next session, I will invite our Sergeant at Arms to set the meeting rules and etiquette. Over to you, SAA.
Thank you, Mr. President. Allow me to share my screen. Please confirm if you can see that clearly. Excellent. So at Watabaruku, we have the following meeting etiquettes, rules, and tips. The meeting, as some of you would have noticed, is being recorded, and this is to allow for our members to be able to review and critique their own online performance and that of others. They can use the videos to be able to grow and to also pinpoint or realize the sections or sessions where they actually performed quite well. So this is a tool for us to be able to enhance our performance. Please have your videos on at all times if possible. Make sure that there is not a distracting background if you are going to have your video on. Please make sure that when you do speak, your video should be on, and mute your microphone if you're not talking. At our club, we like to know who is with us and what role or position they have. So kindly rename yourself. If you are a role taker, start off with the hashtag, your role _ and then name. If you are a visiting Toastmaster, just your name and then the name of the club. And if you are a guest, start with guest _ your name. Remember to enjoy yourselves. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, SAA. Indeed, remember all to enjoy yourselves. Here we are all about fun and learning at the same time. At this point in time, it is now my singular privilege, and it is indeed my duty to welcome the Toastmaster of today's evening. And today we have the privilege of having none other than Arether Wanjiru. Arether has been a vibrant Toastmaster and a founding member of current Toastmasters in 2019-2020. She has also served as the Area 4 Director in the year 2021-2022. Similarly, she has also served as the Toastmaster Leadership Institute Chair in the year 2022-2023, and later on, she served as the TCON Gala Dinner Chair in the year 2022. Indeed, this is what we mean when we speak about a legacy of service. She is now striving for her DTM, and she hopes to attain it by TCON 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in a thunderous applause, in a strong round of applause, as we welcome today evening's Toastmaster of the evening, the vibrant Arether Wanjiru. Over to you, Arether Wanjiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for that introduction. Indeed, it was not a minimalist introduction. There was so much to be said. I had to pause and ponder, is the same Arether? Indeed, Mr. President, it is my distinct pleasure and privilege to be the Toastmaster of the day. And as you introduced me, I was just reflecting on, starting from 2019, serving as the founding president, serving as a president for the second year running, and all these other positions. And I've just realized in my psyche, I don't want those titles anymore because they are in the past. Right now, this is a new dispensation, 2025. And I know some Toastmasters here who probably I do chat on the side, might ask, well, you've been saying you're going to be a DTM for what, 3 years now? Goodness, is that Janie Muller in the room? I know Janie is going to hold me accountable Oh, Kevin Rubia is laughing. But you know what, Toastmasters and guests, I got this. Please tell me you got this.
You've got this.
You got this.
Got this. I got this. Thank you very much. The term "you've got this" almost sounds colloquial, but it is something that I did find online that actually does have a breakdown of what it means. So "you've got this" is a terminology that basically is an encouragement, telling people, it is a phrase to encourage someone. It means that you can do it. You have the skills and know-how or ability to succeed in any given situation. Got this. It doesn't matter what it could be. Is it that weight loss that you've been postponing until January 1st? Toastmasters, and today is January 17th. What steps have you taken? For me, I do concur with the quote that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step. So if it is that weight loss journey, you don't have to jump into the gym and get tired by the 17th of January or February. Start walking. I have consulted several good friends who have basically started their weight loss journey by simply walking. How many steps can you walk in a day? We need smartphones, smartwatches that tells you how many steps you walk. You don't necessarily have to go to any field to run. You don't have to leave the comfort of your home at 5 a.m. If you just walk around the compound, possibly walking up and down your house, possibly because you're confused, as I am sometimes as a mother, wondering, should I wake them up now? Should I do breakfast? We need to run. What can I do? So the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that one step. Whatever that one step is, go ahead and do it. So my first step this year, apart from making those steps and possibly reducing on my portions, is to also take more Toastmasters roles. So when I saw our president had posted that there were some role takers pending, and I wondered, what? We don't have a Toastmaster of the day? Oh my, it's too late to be the Toastmaster of the day. But you know what I thought? I got this. There's a theme out there that we could run with that theme and make sure that we have a vibrant meeting. So thank you, Mr. President, for posting that. And I'm glad that I took it. So that is our theme. You've got this. At Watabaruku Advanced Bilingual Toastmasters Club, we do things a little bit differently. We not only have one evaluator or two, we do have 3 evaluators for each speaker. This evening, Toastmasters and friends, we do have 2 speakers. We will be having several segments. The first segment, we do have 2 speakers, yes. So the first segment, we shall listen to our speakers. We do have 1 speaker that will be speaking for 18 to 22 minutes, and then they will be evaluated. Before the evaluations, we shall have a table topic session or segment. And because we are very few, hopefully many of us will get to respond. When you are asked a question impromptu, feel the fear, but take that one step and do it anyway. You've got this. We shall then have a segment of evaluation. We have 3 types of evaluations. We have the content evaluation, delivery evaluation, and then language evaluation. Isn't that amazing? If it is your first time at Watabaruku Bilingual Toastmasters Club, don't worry. Sit back, relax, and see how we do it the Watabaruku way. You've got this. So to start us off this evening, I'd like to call upon our role takers of the evening. We do have a grammarian and a timer and a general evaluator. Our grammarian this evening is Toastmaster Frida. Toastmaster Frida, kindly unmute and tell us your role. Over to you, Frida Wanyasi. In fact, Frida took the opportunity to actually respond. So allow me to introduce what her response was. This is her advice to us. Fear is not a barrier, but a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Embrace it and let it fuel your growth. You've got this. Over to you, Frida.
Happy New Year, fellow Toastmasters and guests. and good evening. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Okay. As a
I can hear you,
grammarian
Frida.
today,
Over to you.
ladies and gentlemen, my role will be to listen carefully to all this. Pardon?
My apologies for interrupting. I was saying we can hear you clearly. Go ahead. Frida, are you frozen? Can everybody else hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, and Frida is not frozen.
Can you
Frida,
hear
over
me?
to you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Happy New Year to all of us. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening. My role today as the grammarian is to listen carefully to all the speakers, noting the use of language that is grammar, vocabulary, and any outstanding calls and phrases. Additionally, I'll introduce the word of the day, and today's word is minimalist. Minimalist. This is a chosen word that participants are encouraged to use in the speeches, evaluation, and other contribution. Its purpose is mainly to expand our vocabulary. The meaning of this word is an adjective that describes someone or something that uses or requires the least amount of resources or effort, especially in design, lifestyle, or travel. It suggests simplicity and efficiency. Example, in a sentence, we can say, as a minimalist, she decided to downsize her possessions and live with only what she truly needed. As a minimalist, she decided to downsize her possessions and live with only what she truly needed. Katika lugha ya Kiswahili, neno hili maana yake ni mtindo au tabia ya kutumia vichache au rahisi, tukiepuka matumizi yasiyotarajika. Hii inaweza kumaanisha kupunguza vitu visivyo vya maana au vyenye mapambo mengi na badala yake kuzingatia vitu muhimu na vya kimsingi tu. Mfano, katika sentensi tunaweza sema anaishi kwa mtindo wa kupunguza vitu akiepuka mambo yasiyo ya muhimu, meaning and report when called upon. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Asante sana Toastmaster Frida, kama mwanasarufi wetu wa jioni ya leo umeweza kutujulisha neno la siku, lakini ningependa kuuliza neno la siku linamaanisha nini katika Kiswahili? What I am asking is, I wonder what minimalist the word could be in Kiswahili, but that is an assignment for you, Madam Grammarian, for later. Thank you for giving us the word of the day. And we are encouraged to use the word of the day. Now, moving over to our timer of this evening, Toastmaster Rama, kindly go ahead and yes, I can see you. I can see your background. Toastmaster Rama, what is your encouragement for this year? Before you describe your role this evening, what is your encouragement for us this evening?
Okay, good evening, fellow Toastmaster and invited guests. So, answering the team with this question, this year I'm working on my second pathway. I want to finalize my second pathway, and of it all, I want to gain the DTM awards, probably, onto my role. So as a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluation. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. So for table topic speakers, they should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, I will raise the I will display green card on my background. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will display the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I will display the red card. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks on to the specific speech times. So most other speeches it should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. So at 5 minutes, I will display the green card. At 6 minutes, I will display the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will display the red card at the background. The individual evaluation should be 2 to 3 minutes for the content and delivery evaluations. So at 2 minutes, I will display the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will display the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will display the red card on my background. For the language evaluation, they should limit their remarks to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, I will display the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will display the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I will display the green card. So let me show you how I will be displaying those green cards on my background. So that's the green card. And the yellow card, and lastly the red card. So back to you, Temodi. But before you take it from there, Temodi, I'm just standing on Faith Boris. She will be the timer, but she will not be available in 30 minutes. So when she comes back, I'll give the role to her. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Wataima Rahma, especially when you told us that you are looking forward to finishing your second pathway and to attaining your DTM. Toastmaster Rahma, you got this. We do have a general evaluator this evening, Toastmaster Tigist. Toastmaster, you can kindly give us a brief of what you will be doing for this meeting.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Tigist Hailu. I'm hailing from the Blue Nile Toastmasters Club in Ethiopia. It's a great pleasure for me to be the general evaluator for this evening. And the role of the general evaluator is to keenly observe the conduct of the meeting, going as far back as possible in the days leading up to, including the organization. I'll be making mention of the contribution of the various role takers, and I'll be offering constructive feedback. I'll be pointing out things that we've done exceptionally well and areas that we need to improve on. And I'll be happy to present the report when I'm called upon later on. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tigist from Blue Nile. Thank you. I believe I will ask you the question a little bit later when I do bring you to give you a report. Toastmasters and guests, it is now the time that we have been waiting for, where we shall listen to our two speakers. So our first speaker this evening is Toastmaster Carol Kodo. Toastmaster Carol Kodo will be giving an 18 to 22 minute speech. It's an amazing one, I believe. I cannot wait. From what I can see, it is not going to be a minimalist speech. Toastmaster Kodo, let's hear what you have to say about our theme. Could you encourage us with something, an anecdote, telling us a little bit about how you can encourage us with regards to our theme? You've got this.
Thank you, Madam Aretha. It's my pleasure to always be in a Toastmasters meeting. And for today, I want to talk about money. So I'll say this: never spend money that you don't have. You've got this.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Toastmaster Carol Kodo shall be evaluated or will be introduced by none other than the content evaluator, I believe Kevin Kimbio. So Toastmaster Kevin, kindly introduce Toastmaster, the first speaker of the day, telling us what is the objective and, of course, the title of her speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Kevin.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening, the amazing Arether Wanjiru. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, today we have the privilege of listening to Carol Kodo from Fasaha Toastmasters. Caroline will be attempting her first project in level 5 of the presentation mastery pathway. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Her speech will take 18 to 22 minutes. And the title of her speech is, are you a master or a slave to your money? Are you a master or a slave to your money? Carol Kodo, over to you.
When you think about money and your relationship with money, would you rate yourself as a master to money or a slave of money? Just by a show of hands, how many of you think they have mastered money? You can share on the chat or you can raise your hand. How many of you think you have mastered money? Anyone courageous enough? Aha. I am sure if I asked how many of us feel comfortable speaking in public, I would have seen many more hands. Money is a tricky question, and that's why we are not very comfortable saying, I am a master. In fact, I think most of us are just about slaves. But let's still go through this. And I hope after this session, Joseph smiling there, Aretha looking very worried there, you will have a straight path to getting there. Please join me. As my SAA allows me to share, I would want to ask you, when you hear the word financial freedom or financial independence, what comes to your mind? Joseph?
Not working anymore.
Ah, yes, not working anymore. You're your own boss. Aretha?
Having money to travel the world.
Amen. I can see travelers. Maggie, financial freedom, what does it tell you? Or what do you think?
Well, just Master Kodo, when I think about financial freedom, several things come to mind. If I'm employed, am I saving and investing enough money that when I retire, my lifestyle does not change? And when I retire, at that point, I can say, I am financially free if I can live in the same kind of house I live in and maintain the same lifestyle.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Maggie, for sharing that with us. And I'm sure many of us feel the same way, that it's that feeling of not too worrying about what is money. It's just, I want to travel to Bahamas, there I am. My baby needs treatment. Oh, I can do it. My small sister is graduating. Oh, I can fund the party without a worry. That is a good thing. And today, allow me to take you through a journey, or what I comfortably feel is a path to getting to know, to getting to feel just a bit like a master of money and running away from being a slave. And to do that, I will take you through an introduction, which we've already done part, the value proposition, your value proposition. Then we'll go to your network, because your network is your net worth. Then we'll look at the strategies, small strategies that have been proven that can lead you to that place. In the end, we'll conclude. And if you have any questions, kindly feel free to interrupt and we can engage. Welcome. Financial freedom. When I, as Carol, sees the word financial freedom, I am excited. It brings a smile to my face because it means, oh, I can relax because life is easy. I can provide for the people I love. I can actually dictate what I want to do at a given time. And I believe these are the same sentiments we've just shared. Look at that guy. That is how I'll draw it. When I just feel like I can put my feet on the money and order it, it doesn't order me. That to me is financial freedom. How do we get there? Many factors can allow you, but the most critical one is you. What value do you create so that people can buy and pay you and compensate you so that you have enough money to get to the financial freedom? One of the avenues you can look at is, what are my talents? What are the things I do so simply? They're just second nature to myself. Look at Maggie. She loves the idea of nutrition and telling you what you can eat, where you can get. It just comes naturally. And with that, Maggie, you can make money, add value, and get closer to being a master of money, getting closer to the goal of financial freedom. Maggie, you've got this. We have skills and professions, competencies that allow us to add value and earn from it, getting closer to the goal of financial freedom. What inspires you? What are the reasons you exist? Those two can give you a platform to make money. Sometimes we are our worst enemy. When you believe that money is scarce, it's only for other people, not you. Other people are lucky. It holds you back. So your values and beliefs have to be aligned for you to get someone. Oh, there's also a natural thing, the age. Are you young? The miracle wand of compounding is yours to hold. If you save today, even if it's 1,000, and you have 40 years to go, believe you me, that money will compound and you'll be surprised. So remember that you as a brand are the core of getting to financial freedom. What else? Your networks. I've heard it said enough times that your network is your net worth. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Good. I can see Maggie agreeing with me. Your network is your network. But at the core of that network is yourself and how you relate to your network. One of the people who will be or will make or break is your family. For example, are you always paying black tax? Helping someone to pay school fees, helping someone to clear their debt, helping someone to build something, feeding another relative? Oh, my friend, you need to change that. Help your family members to be self-reliant so that in the end, they don't take much from you. In fact, you can come together, build a company, make money, And instead of taking something away from each other, when you meet on Christmas, you share the bonus. Look at that. Change a family from black tax owners to become investors. That leads you to financial freedom. Not only you, but even your whole family. We've got this. Let's try it. Are you those people who have fear of commitment? So you have a child there, a baby mama there. A lot of family relationship in quotes. My friend, those will make you a slave of money. To free yourself and be the master of money, please choose your relationships well. Make your family work for you. Make wise decisions in terms of relationships. The community around you, do you look at them as opportunities to grow your money? Imagine you live in a slum and there's a garbage dump. Why not look at that garbage dump as a place where you can recycle, get and make money? You have a community where people love to understand Kiswahili, and you're a master of Swahili, but you never take an opportunity to teach them and make just a little bit of money. Are you always the duck that complains and makes noise, quack, 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 quack? Or are you an eagle who soars, looks at your community problems and gets solutions and make money? Today, I want to implore you to use the opportunities in your community to make money and get closer to being a master of money, not a slave. Oh, and with the World Wide Web, hasn't the world just become a small village where all of us can participate and make money? The young tax will tell me there's Bitcoin. I know old people like myself will be running away from things that we don't understand. But that's said and done. You still can make money from selling online. Your art, for example, if you're talented. Your music, if you're talented. Your skill of playing guitar very well. All these can be marketed on the online platform and make money, get you to financial freedom. I hope you're running with me in this journey and seeing how many opportunities you have thrown away while you could be making money and getting closer to being that financial free horse. Hold that thought. How many strategies have been proven to make the money? Most of us tend to believe that the money we earn is not enough. And so what we do is make sure we are borrowing here and there. And most of the time, we borrow not for making more money, but consumerism. Oh, my dear Aretha, if you want to say bye to being a slave of money, you have to borrow intelligently. Borrow to make more money. Borrow cheaply. Pay off expensive debts fast so that you're able to be financially independent. The second strategy is, how do you use your time? We've had many people all the time say, time is money. Do you ever take that statement seriously? You're busy on your screen for 20 hours for the young tax, 10 hours for the rest of us, 8 hours on average. What are you doing? Not making money. Just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, getting nothing. Maybe you're actually helping another person to earn money. Why can't that person be you? Use your time to make money. Make yourself better, learn a language, learn a skill, sell something with your time to get money. Others say, how can I save yet the money is not enough? As I said earlier, never use money that you don't have. And when you get that little money, first pay yourself. And how do you do that? Just save for you. You can start with 1%, 2%. And when it becomes a habit, you'll be surprised at how big it will become. So learn to save, because without saving, you cannot invest. You have to start saving. The saving is the small step that builds the money for the investment. Kindly save. We have heard it said that you can't put all your eggs in one basket. And that's where passive income comes in. You can be sitting. There are many people who sit and sleep and their money works for them. That's what we call passive income. How many of you know a system called DOS from Central Bank? How many of you are aware such a thing exists? By a show of hand, I can see Maggie wondering, what's that? DOS system in Kenya allows you to lend the government money through buying T-bonds from the comfort of your house. How cool is that? Yet you're here with your money, some of you in a saving account that's giving you 3%, while last year, those bonds were giving up to 18%. Passive income. Kindly look for options of passive income. T-bills, T-bonds, money markets, where you don't have to exert yourself too much. You can still do your side hustle, but the money is working for you. In that way, my friend, you get closer to your dream of being a master of money and say goodbye to slavery by money. 2020 was a hard year. Pandemic, Corona came. Most of us were young, so we never thought of most probably changing a job, quitting your job, even looking for a job at that moment. Then, oh my goodness. Due to pandemic, employers were told you need to, or rather, they were forced to lay off people or give people half salary. Now, look at that. You're used to your 100,000, which already is not enough. Then you're told you need to earn 50,000. It was painful. It was painful. But what if then you knew there's something called an emergency fund, where slowly you build up to a year of your expenses, so that anytime you're cushioned for a year, that if you are fired today, you can run your life for a whole year without worry, because you have an emergency fund. Does anyone here have an emergency fund? I know some of you are wondering, which country does she live in? Is she paying tax? No. Some things have to be intentional. Business as usual does not get you to mastery of money. You have to sacrifice. Timer Faith, I can see your hand is up.
Sorry, you asked a question.
Yes. Oh, you have an emergency fund. Oh, congratulations, Faith. That's a beautiful one, because it gives you peace of mind. Can we emulate Faith and start our emergency fund journey? It starts small. You can save 2% of your salary. When you get a bonus, put it there. When you get a windfall, put it there. And voila, you will get to 3 months, to 6 months, to 9 months of your expenditure, and finally to a year. And you can continue, so that when anything happens, you don't interfere with your normal investment, normal saving. You already have an emergency fund that can sort you out, and you will feel like a king, a master of money. There is also what we call, Maggie, do you know how much you spend in a month for black tax, for example? Good girl.
I do know how much I spend per year.
Per year. That's a good thing.
I set a limit for the year. If it gets finished before the end of the year, too bad. Thank you.
Great. That gives me hope. Because when you know where you spend your money and how much you spend on each and every place, then it's easier for you to say, this I don't need, and I can get rid of that by getting rid of this habit. Or this I need, so I can keep putting my money in here to invest. So the first step is knowing how you spend your money. If you don't know yet, try this small step. Every day, record each and every of your expenses for a period of a month. If you're courageous enough, for a second month and a third month, so that you make a trend. Then from those pockets, see where you spend on your money. Eliminate those things that you don't need and emphasize those that you need, for example, investments and saving. And in that way, you will know how to play with your money and master your money. Order your money to work for you, not the other way around. Now, I have said enough for now. Anyone with a question on these strategies? Anyone with a question on any of these strategies?
I have a question.
Yes, Maggie.
Thanks very much. I love all these strategies that you have shared with us, and they are not beyond reach. Planning is one thing, dreaming is one thing, having a vision is one thing, but how does one respond, and I'm not being political here, but how does one respond to the constant changes in government policy that affects our gross income with all the taxes that keep being introduced and therefore affecting even our buying power and savings, obviously?
Thank you, Maggie. One of the beautiful things about money is, unless you are intentional, you can never, ever be a master. And the journey might look very long. I will say this. When things are tighter, is when you actually need to go through your expenses with a tooth comb and confirm, do I need to go to the salon 4 times in a month? I can eliminate and do it twice a month. Do we need to take ice cream every single day in our house? We can maybe do it once a week. That's how intentional you have to be. Because if you're able to manage when time is hard, then it means when the time is better, you can save more and get a basis for investing. And the other thing is, imagine, Maggie, if you had an emergency fund, because out of habit, you've already created an emergency fund. When such hard bits come, it can be used to cushion it. But that can only happen if you have intentionally done that. And I like this conversation because it's at the beginning of the year, most of us make very serious decisions and resolutions. One of the few ones is kindly record your expenses so that you know where your money goes. Then just look for opportunities to increase your savings and investments. And believe you me, like a miracle, it will work. I can see Tracy has raised her hand. Tracy, you can go on.
How are you?
Now I have done
have you had
most
the
of
team
what
writing
we
up?
have spoken
Sorry,
about.
we have someone interrupting. Not sure who that is.
Yes, someone is interrupting. Okay,
Oh,
are you able to hear me? Is that better?
Yes. Tracy, go ahead.
So a bit friendly.
Now,
but
I want to speak of the other end of the spectrum. Some of us who we have put together our money market, we have saved, we have invested, and now we have lived a certain lifestyle where we tightened our belts for so long that we even forgot to put in some buffer for maybe, I don't want to say kujambia mwili pole, or rather, I don't know the English equivalent of that. But how would you advise us moving forward? Like, yes, we do have some buffer, we have good practices, but how do we now make sure we don't fall into the trap of I have pushed and pushed for so long, I need to break into the bank so I can buy this thing I want?
She's running. Okay. Tracy, as you have said, kwa Kiswahili tunasema si nguruwe, tunasema farasi akichoka, ama niseme punda akichoka amechoka. So that you don't get to that point where you are exhausted of working too much and you start giving up on what you've done. It is a good practice to pay yourself first. In fact, in finance, they say, pay yourself first. Now, paying yourself first means treating yourself as a queen in all this. But you don't do it before. Because as you're saying, for example, you have saved and saved. You deserve a pat on the back. But do it responsibly. Don't go to the extreme of I've been saving, now it's time to, you will go back to where you were. So enjoy in bits. Remember you're the one doing it. So even a cow that gives us milk, we have to give it grass for the milk production to continue. So be graceful to yourself for the hard work. Always make sure there's pay yourself first. Okay, any other question? Faith Abuya?
Okay, good evening. What if, according to me, what I usually do, I usually, when you get your salary, maybe your payment, your income, you divide it into 3 parts.
Yes.
Then there's needs, there's wants, and the savings.
Yes.
So once you've allocated money for your needs, which mostly takes almost 50% of your income, then there's wants. Once it is for you now, for you, the person who has earned that money, then there's the element of saving. From that, you can find yourself saving smoothly without incurring other extra money that you've not earned.
Yes. But also remember, wants can extrapolate. So it has to be a very disciplined approach. A very disciplined approach. Thank you, Faith. Any other question? There is a job courier.
Thank you, Carol. My question is, how do you mitigate your emotions when it comes to savings? Because now, not savings, investments. Would you rather invest or save?
Saving means you're just setting aside. You could be saving in a money market, for example, to get 8%, or a savings account to get 3%. Banks are very mean, they'll normally give you a very low percentage. But investment is based at saving to earn more money. For example, you want to do something that will make you produce more money, not necessarily just a 3% that comes in. This is what happens. Like in Kenya, SACCOs are very good. So you have your business idea, but you know that you need 1 million and you can't afford 1 million. So what you do is you save until you get to, let's say, 300,000, maybe through money markets and through the small savings. Then you take your 300 and save it to the SACCO. Then get your loan of 1 million. And in that 1 million, you do your idea that will bring you back, let's say, 3 million. You are able to pay back your money and continue investing. So investing is with the idea of growing the money to bigger proportions. But saving is just that you want to make sure that you get to a place. And that's why I was describing saving as a basis for investment. Because investment is purely you want to make money and actually get out of the poverty cycle. You know? I hope I have answered, Joe.
Just for clarity, while at it, I would like to ask, is it advisable to start a venture on loan?
It depends on the probability. For example, if, for example, you have done a venture that you know there's a guaranteed market, let's assume there are people who have ordered houses for the sake of this conversation. There are people who are willing to rent those houses if you finish them and do them, and they will pay you rent or they'll buy them. And they have committed. And you have an agreement with someone that once you finish these houses, we'll buy 10 of them. It is a guaranteed rental. There are arrangements like those ones where someone guarantees that when you finish, if these houses are finished, 10 of them will take for our staff accommodation. You know it is given. All they need you to do is make sure you finish them. So you can take a loan, finish the house, get your money, pay back, and continue now with the investment. So it is just like a seed capital for you. Sometimes it is easier to do a joint venture. If you have people you trust who already have a saving, you consolidate your savings together and jump into the investment option. But if not, there is what I call a good debt, a debt that is aimed at giving you a jump start to be able to invest into bigger things.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Wonderful presentation, but I've had some very interesting quotes.
Yes.
Somebody says an idea is better than money, or money talks. But I love this one. Money has wings. It can fly. How do I clip the wings of money so that I keep a lot more money with me?
Thank you, Jared, for that interesting question. Money flies. You can take it literally in that there's no place you can't get to when you have money. Money is power. It gives you the power to actually be bigger. I was asking somebody, imagine if you are given a day to just be Uhuru Kenyatta, for example, in Kenya, where even when you're asleep, money just comes in. It's a beautiful feeling. I think we'd all want to be there. That's how I would read money flies from a positive side. If you're from the scarcity side, it could mean money flies in that it just disappears. So I don't want to wish you that one. I want to wish you the money that gives you wings to fly up, to be powerful, and to be a master of your journey. You're welcome, Jared. Okay, let me conclude, then I'll get back to the questions so that I don't run out of time. And here is a quote from PTM, and he says, "Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant." And this is what, for me, how I look at this. You know, when you don't have money, sometimes you're stripped up to your dignity. You're borrowing someone food. You even feel like you're less of a human being. That's how bad money can make you feel when you don't have it. But when you have it, oh my goodness, you can order people around. You know? So it can serve you so well that your word becomes a command because money is available. And this is when you are financial independence. So we've got this. We can get there from our talents, from our skills, from the networks we have, from the strategies here and there, intentionally, we can get to this point. And so that I remind you what I've said in conclusion, set your goals. Set your goals, clear goals with timelines. You can do weekly goals, monthly goals, half a year, yearly goals, 5 years, short-term, long-term, so that in every single decision you make, you're bright about how you're doing it. You're the one ordering your money. You're the one telling your money how to work for you. You can build emergency savings for those times that things don't go the way you want. You can pay down debt because expensive debt can kill you. I know Shylocks who make you sell your house, yes, they only loaned you about 100,000. And since you can't pay and the interest keeps going, you end up selling your home. Be careful about debt. Manage your risks. And how do you do this? Take on insurance, for example, for education, for your house, for your business. Transfer the risk to the insurance companies. Invest as soon as possible. And if you're young and you've just gotten your first salary and you're listening to me, kindly save that money from now. The miracle of compounding will work for you. But even if you're late, you're old, it's never too late. You can start now because you still be better than if you did not start today. Invest and invest with knowledge. Use the financial experts. Read for yourself on the net, seek guidance so that you invest well. And of course, how can you do well if you don't review how you are? Have a regular review of your financial decisions. And I can assure you, your journey to financial freedom will begin. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. And if you have any questions, you can share on the chat. We can continue so that we are able to engage. Is there anyone with a burning question? Jobai, is your hand up or? Oh, okay, you're clapping. Thank you. Any questions?
I've got a comment. When you have money in your pocket, you'll never feel hungry. But when you don't have money, you'll be as hungry as early as 9 o'clock.
Totally agree.
A contribution, Kodo?
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for your presentation. If there's one thing I'm taking away is I'm going to start recording my expenses on a daily basis. The fact that you are here talking to us about money, one of the things that I would wish to contribute is encourage everybody to consider having a mentor. If it were not for you coming here and talking to us and giving these points, we wouldn't know some of these things. So if you can, I am 55 years old, and I keep saying, if I knew what I know, I would have gotten a money mentor from when I was 10 years old. So thank you so much for sharing with us all these points, and I look forward to a better financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kodo. I want us to just put our hands together and really appreciate her for her speech. Not only has she inspired us, she has motivated to be better, borrow intelligently and cheaply. Like the word cheap is very important here. And also, never use money that you don't have. Since January 1st, how many of us have used money that we don't have? You know, pledged here and there, waiting for end month? You know yourselves. Toastmaster Caroline, Toastmaster Carol Kodo, thank you for that speech. We'll now be moving on to our second speaker of the evening, and we are really running out of time. Toastmasters, we did get immersed into that speech, but we do have a 5 to 7 minute speech from none other than Dr. Kevin Rubia, Dr. Toastmaster Kevin Rubia. And when I asked him, to motivate us this evening, this is his response: let's be maximalists, not minimalists. We've got this.
Sorry,
Toastmaster Kevin.
Toastmaster
Yes.
of the day, before our next speaker comes, I'd just like to encourage the audience to kindly share their feedback on Toastmaster Caroline's speech. I'm putting a link in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam SA, for that. Please, at Watabaruku, we do have an opportunity to evaluate. As audience, kindly do give your feedback to Toastmaster Kodo. Thank you. And as you do that, remember what Toastmaster Kevin said, don't be a maximalist, don't be a minimalist, be a maximalist. So to introduce our second speaker of today, it's Toastmaster Jared Ouko. Toastmaster Jared, kindly introduce our second speaker so that we can know what his speech, what he will be speaking about, as well as his title. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Kevin Rubia is going to speak to us between 5 to 7 minutes, and is to demonstrate the skills of a leader and a public speaker. This is his first speech where he's going to display and introduce a plan and a vision to us. And it is a DTM project that is going to award him that credential. He is to deliver a well-organized speech and share skills and a plan that he has. And I will be evaluating this speech. The title of Kevin's speech is 666. 666, Kevin Rubia. Kevin Rubia, 666.
How many of us have ever wished to have a six-pack? For those of us who don't know what a six-pack is, it is those abdominal muscles being separated in 2 rows of 3 and 3 rows with 2 columns, six-pack. How many of us have ever wished to have that in their life? Please raise your hand or comment in the chat. Thank you, Lorraine Penduka. I want to get a six-pack by TCON 2025. TCON 2025 is the Toastmasters East African Conference, where all Toastmasters in East Africa come together to celebrate their wins. My win will be the six-pack when I show my beach body. This TCON event will be held in Ethiopia. I don't know if there are beaches in Ethiopia, but people will still have to see my six-pack by the end of that event. This got me thinking. In Toastmasters, I serve as a Toastmasters Leadership Institute Chair, TLI in short. Part of my role is to ensure that Toastmasters become trainers, such that we have more people training during club officer training. The process is rigorous. There are around 6 steps for one to become a TLI certified trainer. 1 is attend a from speaker to trainer workshop. 2, facilitate a club officer training. 3, be evaluated at the training and get 60% as a pass mark. Deliver 3 tip sessions at a Toastmasters meeting and get evaluated. And apply to the Toastmasters Leadership Institute Chair, yours truly. Many Toastmasters have reached out to me to say how difficult it is to perform all these 6 tasks. When I decided to get my six-pack, I first thought, who do I know that has a six-pack? Are there any takers in this room? Anyone who has a six-pack? Unfortunately, we all need six-packs in this room, and I cannot consult any of you. That said, I knew someone. He's called Nelson, a tall, dark, handsome man like myself. The only difference between him and I are 2. 1, he's Muslim, and 2, he has a six-pack. I am Christian, and I do not have a six-pack. That said, I made sure that I reach out to him and find out how can I get this beach body by March of this year. He has taken me through a rigorous process, and I must say it is quite painful. But the silver lining in all this is that I have a guide. A guide who is able to take me from where I am to where I want to be. This dawned on me that I could have a plan to help such Toastmasters, those who are planning to become speakers, to get guides so that they can end up as trainers. Hence, my plan, what is known as 666 or 666. For the Christians in the room, feel at ease. I'm not the Antichrist. Just listen to me to let you know what this means. 6 speakers in Toastmasters who want to become trainers will get 6 guides to guide them through that process. Just like myself, getting a guide in Nelson to help me become a 6-pack man. All this will happen in 6 months. Now, 6 speakers are a bare minimum. I know we are talking about minimalism and maximalism in this meeting. As a bare minimalist, I'm just working on 6 speakers. If these people can convert from speaker all the way to trainer, the difference here being having a guide, our work will be done. The 6 months are from January all the way to June. Some of us have already enrolled from speaker to trainer program and have attended a workshop. But how many of us have a guide? The 6 Toastmasters that will help in this process are 6 distinguished Toastmasters, 3 ladies and 3 gents. One of them is DTM Njeri Gadi, and the other one that I'll mention today is DTM Wangu Kamundia. I mention these 2 because I have started a program with them. We recently conducted a From Speaker to Trainer workshop last week, and these 2 ladies approached me telling me that they wanted to help more speakers become trainers in this Toastmasters year. That was the light bulb, the switch that got me thinking to start this program. Currently, we have at least 18 Toastmasters in our WhatsApp group, paired up with these 2 ladies, DTM Jerry, Distinguished Toastmaster, and DTM Wangu Kamundia. These Toastmasters have been paired so that they guide them through the process and make sure that they have someone accountable. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. That's why we put them in our WhatsApp group to encourage them, to encourage each other to proceed in this process. It may be painstaking, but together we can do more. Another attribute of this plan is to have such a tracking system. Each distinguished Toastmaster in this program will track all the members under them, make sure that they have gone through each process. They will meet fortnightly to discuss their progress. That way, it is more intentional and they are accountable to each other. The other 4 distinguished Toastmasters who I have reached out to will still be communicated to about the whole plan and paired up with their respective people. In case you are a Toastmaster in this room who hasn't had the opportunity to attend a From Speaker to Trainer workshop, I would encourage you as follows. 1, why would you need to attend this in the first place? How would it help you? Imagine this. We have just talked about money right now, and you have been chasing money all your life. You have come to Toastmasters to develop your public speaking and your leadership skills. However, you haven't found the knack to make Toastmasters make money for you. The From Speaker to Trainer program, in this case, the 666 is here to guide you so that you have someone to hold your hand through the process and help you make money out of this venture. Who knows, you might even get a 6-figure salary just from this alone. There is going to be a From Speaker to Trainer online workshop in 2 weeks' time. In case you haven't signed up, please consider signing for this one. It's going to be the last one for this period before we embark on the 666 program. DTM Oltesh and DTM Joshua are also going to be part of the guides who are going to guide the Toastmasters who are going to be in this cohort. I'd like you and I to celebrate at the end of this year, or at least these 6 months, our wins. For you, it might not be the 6-pack. It might also not be the From Speaker to Trainer program. But what do you want to achieve in the next 6 months? What would you like to be your 666 by the end of this all? I encourage you to take down a notebook and write 6 things you'd like to accomplish in the next 6 months, and 6 people who will help you accomplish this. That way, you have written your plan, you have a guide, and you have an accountability partner and a plan. And I'm sure when we meet after all this, we shall be celebrating our beach bodies, our DTM status. Some of us will be trainers, and you, Job, Frida, Tigist, Nelson, you will have achieved your goals. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kevin, for that amazing speech. The 666 and the way to get it. You know, when he talked about the 6-pack, I was thinking how he's going to tell us to do sit-ups, to stop eating carbs at a certain time, to run for a certain amount of time. But indeed, he's told us how to be successful. Perhaps we can have the beach body, but also the skill set. I mean, attending a speaker to trainer segment, being evaluated and working with amazing Toastmasters, doing 3-tip sessions. I mean, this will not cost you much as a Toastmaster. What are you waiting for? You've got these Toastmasters. You can be the next 666 winner, so that our TLI chair, Kevin Rubia, can award you that crown, and you will be known as the 6-packer. Thank you so much for that. We are running out of time. Thank you to our timekeeper. I believe that you said you were not able to share the screen, but I believe you do have the timing. We will now request our SAA to post the form so that we can evaluate our speaker. And please also choose your better speaker. Kindly vote. At Toastmasters, we vote so that we can be able to award our better speaker. And luckily today we only had 2 speakers, so we have a first and a second place. But only the winner gets that award. Moving on swiftly to our table topics segment, we are really out of time. But I'd like to invite Toastmaster Neema Siwingwa to please take us through this table topics segment. I don't know if it is in order for me to request that we only do 3 questions today so that we can try to save time. Over to you, our table topics master. Take it away.
It is completely in order, and I'm very mindful that we are running out of time. So I will keep it very brief. And if you are interested in being a table topic speaker, kindly use an emoji so that I can select you right away. As an introduction, and especially for those who might not be familiar with this section, the purpose of the Topics Master is to facilitate this session, which is called Table Topics or Impromptu Speaking, where guests and members will have the opportunity to practice their impromptu speaking skills. I'll introduce a quote, and then I'll call on the speaker who is to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And you're encouraged to use the word of the day today, which is minimalist. Our theme for this meeting is You Got This. I'm sure many of you dream of how you want your life to be, something you want to accomplish, the change you want to create. We're all similar in that we all wish for something, but doing it is what gets it done. Now, knowing what we want is not enough. We have to make it happen too. So when you are having questions or you're doubting your ability to be able to do this, just remember, you got this. First quote, and I'd just like to hear your feedback on this. This is from none other than Elon Musk. If something is important enough, even if the odds are stacked against you, you should still do it. Toastmaster Janie Moulet.
Toastmasters and guests, even if the odds are against me, I should do that which I think I should do. Think about it. Think about those who invented the light, the aeroplane, the car, the internet, and now artificial intelligence. Can you imagine how difficult it seemed to get this thing to fly up in the skies? Can you imagine how many times they had to try? That was not a time to be a minimalist. They had to do it over and over and over again. Toastmasters and guests, think about the innovations on medicine and how it has helped the multitudes. What if these people gave up? So, if it is important enough, it is worth going over and over the odds. Just like we here in Toastmasters, we joined Toastmasters, butterflies in our stomachs. We didn't think we could stand up to speak to save our lives, but we got this. We did one speech after the other and another. We took roles. No minimalism here. As many speeches as we could, as many roles as we could take. And look at us today. It was worth the effort. We went through everything we needed to do, and today we speak with confidence. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Done, DTM Janie. That's just how you're supposed to do it, grabbing the bulls by the horn. Okay, next quote. This is from Michael J. Fox, and for those of you who don't know him, he's an actor who has been suffering from Parkinson's disease for a long time. He said, "Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding that something is what it is, and there's got to be a way through it." Anthony Adore. Okay. Anthony Odor. Not unmuting. Okay, I'll move on to Joyce Wangari. Okay, in the interest of time. Perfect. Go ahead.
Thank you. Imagine how many times things did not unfold as you wished. Maybe it's that job. Maybe it's that relative who was maybe quite sick and you wanted them to get healed so that you can spend more time with them. But that did not happen. You expected to pass your exams, but that did not happen. I can imagine the feeling. I have been there several times, things unfolding not as I expected. Do I get stuck? Sometimes I do, but I remember one thing. I am the driver of this life, of my life specifically. I need to accept and move on. Acceptance comes with challenges. First of all, there are people who will think you'd not give it a chance, not knowing the many battles you fought behind the scenes. To everyone in this meeting, I encourage you, whenever you have a challenging thing, it's okay to think about it for some time, but don't get stuck. Accept, move forward, and for the believers in the house, God always has a way out. Thank you.
Excellent. And now for our very last quotes. And this is from George Eliot. It is never too late to be who you might have been. And I would like to ask our guest, Joseph Ndungu, to kindly proceed. Joseph? Okay. Job Korea?
Thank you, Table Topics Master, and good evening to you. Watabaruku. Indeed, it's never too late to become the person who you were meant to be. Each and every single day is an opportunity for us to become better versions of ourselves. I like it when a computer scientist friend of mine told me that we are like softwares. We must keep on upgrading ourselves. And if you don't upgrade yourself, you are at a risk of becoming obsolete. So it's never too late to become a better version of yourself. And I agree with that quote. Each and every day, read a book. From what you've learned, use the knowledge, because wisdom is applied knowledge. Each and every single day, each and every single moment, it's a moment for us to be the better versions of ourselves. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much. And I would like to hand the meeting back over to our Toastmaster of the day. You running?
Thank you, our Table Topics Master, for those amazing questions. I think you said you're going to run the poll. Toastmaster Nema, thank you very much. I don't believe the poll is ready yet. Did I miss that? All right.
It's ready.
She will
I'm
be
just going to share it right now. I'm launching it.
Fantastic. Great. A Toastmaster wears many hats because she has done the table topic segment and she still has the poll ready. Isn't that amazing? At Watabaruku, we were born ready. Let's do this. Thank you for taking us through that segment. We will now be getting into Toastmaster Nema. My apologies. I did not ask you to please inspire us. What is your quote? Please tell us something. We need to be inspired. Despite running out of time, we need something, a nugget from you, Toastmaster Nema. Over to you.
This year, I've decided that I'm going to learn from all the mistakes that I have been making in past life. I am the type of person who, once bitten, I do shy away. And I just tend to forget about that thing and just move on and do other things. So this year, I've said no more of that because there are lessons to be learned from our mistakes. So I know that I've got this. I'm not going to look at my failures as things to bring me down. Instead, I'm going to use them to build me up. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
You've got this, Toastmaster Nema, because learning from the mistakes is one of the best ways to grow. in our speakers in Toastmasters, feedback is always the breakfast of champions. So we want to delve into that feedback segment so that our speakers can learn from any mistakes they may have taken, they might have made, and be able to become better speakers and be DTMs, 666 champions. We move on to our first evaluator of the evening, evaluating Toastmaster Carol Kodo. Our content evaluator this evening is none other than Toastmaster Kevin Mwandoe. Over to you to give the content evaluation of our first speaker.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Arether Wanjiru, and congratulations to Carol Kodo for a speech well delivered. Indeed, it is no mean feat to deliver an 18 to 22-minute speech, and Carol, you did well. The speech was very timely, and your choice of topic was not off-season, because this is the season that we are all setting our goals. Are you a slave to your money? This is a question that we may want to answer for the remainder of the year. You have inspired us with habits that will lead us to excellence in how we spend our money. Your audience engagement was top-notch. I really enjoyed it. And you started off with an opening question. Your speech title itself was a question, and you asked the audience a question to which they were to respond, either by a show of hands or in the chat box. And you had some amazing responses in the chat box. Somebody said that they are still looking for the money to master, which I found to be very hilarious. And this was repeated throughout the meeting. You really engaged the audience, and the audience did not have a chance to slip from your grip. While I think this is your strength, I feel that you could have bettered this particular strength by using the content that you have generated from the audience engagement to better your speech. For example, in the opening, you would have used the responses that you got from your audience, both from the virtual floor and from the chat box, as a segue, as a hook to the remainder of your speech. For instance, many of us feel like Maggie, that financial freedom means the ability to travel anywhere, or like Joseph, money will relieve us from the burdens of work to focus on our habits. These are all good things. And then you could have proceeded now to give the definition of financial freedom and to set the value proposition. Your presentation was well arranged. I liked your PowerPoint presentation, and clearly you had points that have power. You started off by telling us how our value proposition will lead us to financial freedom, how leveraging our networks will lead us to financial freedom, and you also gave us the strategies that will lead to financial freedom. This was like tying it all up together. While your points had power, and okay, you also drew examples from your own personal experiences and the experiences of the audience, just to add a little bit of power to your points. And while your points had power, I feel like you would have added a little bit more of a punch to your points had you added a little bit of research or some few anecdotes that are widely known and verifiable. For example, when you were speaking about compound interest, you would have spoken about how compound interest has been leveraged by somebody like, say, Bill Gates or another rich person who is very well known to have used this concept to grow to the stature that they are currently in. But all in all, I really enjoyed your speech, and congratulations on a speech well delivered. I'll pass it on to Alligator Makori for the delivery evaluation.
Congratulations galore. Congratulations, my friend Caroline Kodo. What a beautiful, beautiful delivery of your speech. You started with a series of questions. This is always a good strategy to draw in the audience so that they begin to think about the topic that you are presenting and they begin to relate with it. And then pay rapt attention in order to refine or validate their contribution. You also did well in your delivery in the manner in which you used the PowerPoint slides. For instance, you started early on with a value proposition. This, not verbose, just pointed and pictorial style of presentation or using PowerPoint is excellent. You had a slide on you're a master or slave of your money, which set out the agenda, introduction, value proposition, network strategies to financial freedom conclusion, and Q&A. That also helped us to understand that you're prepared well and that you have structure in your presentation. In your delivery, you used quotes. That also builds credibility. I want to congratulate you for this as well. And I remember one, for example, by a fellow whose name I couldn't read very well, but I think it's Barnum, P.T. Barnum. Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant. In your delivery, this kind of imagery sticks with us, and we start to see why we should make money a servant and not a master over us. And then you had a beautiful conclusion, which told us exactly what to do. 6 tips. And this is a beautiful way of concluding. And what did this lead to? After giving us those tips, I saw that there was a beautiful response from various people, which tells me that you created the connection that you intended to. In fact, one person even listed wants beauty, clothes, travel, charities, black tax, and so on. And this unsolicited kind of response in the chat box shows that indeed you achieved your goals. In fact, one person concluded with the words, "Wow, such an insightful presentation." So well done. One thing though that I would like to request you to do as an improvement in your delivery next time, when you signal a conclusion, then do not again open for Q&A. You had a Q&A segment, and then you had a conclusion, then you called again for additional questions. That may draw you way off course with regards to time and may dilute what you have already brought together in your conclusion. I want to encourage you to continue speaking, giving such impactful, full-length speeches. This is the way to go. You got this. Over to the grammarian for the language feedback.
Good evening once more. So I managed to capture some thought-provoking vocabulary, quotes, and phrases that might lead us to financial freedom. We had the definition of financial freedom, which now all of us understood. So Toastmaster, the speaker number 1 used words like put my feet on the money and order it, which might symbolize actively managing or using money in some way while ordering it. It might suggest maybe directing or organizing the money. She also used a quote that said, sometimes we are our worst enemies. We can be our own biggest obstacles to our own success and happiness, according to me, my way of understanding. Your network is your net worth, which means the connection we build can have significant impact on our financial successes. People who will make you or who will break you, meaning something that has potential to either result in great success or complete failure. She also said the definition of black tax, which means financial burden we get ourselves in as a result of providing support to less financial secure family members. She also used the word of emergency fund, which this is a personal budget set aside as a financial safety in case of unexpected expenses. She also said money has wings. Those are quotes. Money talks. Money is power. Money flies. Money that gives you wings to fly and become powerful. Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant. The miracle of compounding will work for you. She also ended with a punchline that said, money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant. Thank you. That is my report for speaker number 1. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Grammarian. Toastmasters and guests, we are acutely aware that we are running out of time. So at this point, I would beg your indulgence. We will run the meeting a little bit over time by about 10 minutes. We do apologize for this running over time. So moving on swiftly to our second set of evaluators who will be evaluating our second speaker. So let's go over to Toastmaster Jared Oko DTM, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Kevin Rubia. Over to you, Jared, to give the content evaluation in 2 to 3 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster. The ability to enjoy pleasure is a gift. And in terms of our speaker, Kevin Rubia, you started by a question. How many of you have ever experienced a six-pack? A very catchy statement that throws you off the cuff and then brings you back to the reality. So my role is to evaluate the content of this speech and six-pack and how to get it was a real content that draws people together and creates curiosity for you to find out exactly what it is. And it delved deeper into linking that content into, linking that content into the TCON and delving deeper to let us know exactly what it is. So remember. And then as a speaker, what exactly do you do to get a six-pack? The way he related that and the journey of that six-pack creation was a real content. And then he talked about certification. How do you get certified as a six-pack person? The 6 tasks and the power of 6 came out as a real content for us to take away. Then a plan and a guide on how to get you from speaker to trainer. So what did he do excellently? I think he did so well when it comes to storytelling and weaving that message across into our heads to let us understand exactly how the content of this speech becomes a reality and relationship to life. And the speech delivery was excellent in terms of how he delivered the speech, he whipped the stories and created the relationship into our lives. What I think you must do is to dress the part. You're looking for DTM. You've got to be who that is. Then also work on your visual aid when you have a crowded PowerPoint, then it gets people out of hand. So I'd like to challenge you to work on your pitch, your pace, and your speed and tone variation. Then you will be the kind of a person that we're looking. After this being your first speech, I believe the second one is going to be powerful. It's been a pleasure and all the best. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jared. Moving on to our delivery evaluator. Our delivery evaluator is none other than Toastmaster Lorraine. Kindly give your evaluation of Kevin Rubia.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And good evening, everyone, and a special good evening to you, Kevin. Well done on delivering a speech that is there to motivate us as Toastmasters to go and achieve our goals. And as a TLI chair, you are pushing the agenda of your office. And that came out clearly in a humorous way, challenging us to get a six-pack or be inspired to get a six-pack But what really stood out for me, it was not about the six-pack. It is about the strategy of how you are going to get Toastmasters to actually start earning from their Toastmasters journey and experience. You clearly laid out how people can start off by attending the speaker to trainer workshop. Not only that, you have informed us that you're not going to walk alone in this journey. It's not as complicated as you may think it is because of all the steps. You broke it down for people in a clear 666 format that we're not going to forget as we continue on this journey. What I'd like to challenge you in terms of your delivery is in your body language, clearly syncing what you are saying with the actions of your hands. There were some instances where I noticed that you were saying one thing, but your hands were telling me something totally different. And when you become conscious of how your hands are moving and how you can use them as a tool to emphasize the things that you want to put across, I think you are going to be a very script and smooth speaker going forward. Your gestures are totally not one of the minimalist. They were bold, and that is what I liked about them. I just need them to work with what you are saying. All in all, you delivered your speech well. We were inspired. The vision is clear on where you're going, and I wish you the best in your upcoming speech. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, the delivery evaluator, Lorraine. Let's move on to our grammarian, who will give some feedback to Kevin.
I also managed to capture some outstanding quotes and vocabulary from speaker number 2, that is Daktari. He used quotes, idioms like "it dawned on me," meaning suddenly understood or realized something. Another idiom that he used, that was the light bulb, the switch that led me start this program. He used a quote that said, "If you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go with others." He also used the word six pack, which he defined. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, grammarian, for that succinct feedback. It was a minimalist feedback, yet it was very rich. Toastmasters and guests, we have come to the tail end of our meeting, but before we conclude, let us vote for the better evaluator. Kindly make your pick. And as you vote, continue reflecting on the various nuggets that have been shared today. Things like learn from your mistakes. Work on your second pathway, continue taking on your speeches. Don't spend money that you don't have. And another nugget is perhaps, do you want to be the next, do you want to earn that six-figure salary and earn that six-pack? Please contact our TLI chair, Toastmaster Kevin Rubia. Now, moving on to receiving reports, our reports, I'd like to call upon our grammarian to quickly just give us an overall feedback of how we did, and then our timer, and then we shall conclude with our general evaluator. So grammarian, kindly give us your general feedback. You don't have to take too much time. I believe you've already spoken.
Thank you, Madam TMD. Today, I witnessed excellent and well-crafted speeches. On use of language, speeches were clear and effective in the choice of words, making their messages easy to comprehend and engaging. On grammar use, there's also good command of grammatical structures, calls and phrases to strengthen their argument. On the word of the day, the word was poorly used. We adopted a minimalist approach in our speeches, evaluation, and contribution in using this word. It was used 8 times. In conclusion, I would like to commend everyone for their contribution today. Let's continue striving for excellence in every meeting. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Grammarian. Let's move on to Toastmaster Faith Abuya, who will give a report on behalf of Rahma Salim. Faith, kindly give us a brief of how we did on time. We already know where we've not got it for sure.
As it from there. She experienced some problems, so I had to just wait. On to my report, the first speaker, Carol Kodo, took 34 minutes, 3 seconds. Second speaker took 9 minutes, 44 seconds. On to the table topic speakers, our first speaker, Jenny, took 1 minute, 28 seconds. Speaker Joyce took 1 minute, 20 seconds. And our third speaker, 12 seconds. On to the evaluation. Our first evaluator, DTMJ, took 3 minutes, 4 seconds. On to the second evaluator, Kevin, took 3 minutes, 16 seconds. Ali Makorin, minute, 52 seconds. Lorraine took 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Frida Mwanyasi, the grammarian, onto the first evaluator, you took 1 minute, 52 seconds. Onto the second, giving your language evaluation, you took only 30 seconds. Thank you. And back to you, Timothy.
Thank you very much, our capable timekeeper, Rama. I believe that, I think you mentioned that Faith's network may have failed. We do appreciate the time that you've taken to give us that report. Moving on now to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Tigist. Please inspire us with something small and then give us the report. We are ready to hear what we have failed in. We got this. Thank you, Tigist. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. I think I need to work on my handwriting. I was scribbling very fast, so I'm hoping to be able to read my handwriting for my general evaluation report. Maybe this year, my resolution should be work on my handwriting on a light note. But thank you so much. Can I proceed with the report? All right, thank you. My role, as I had introduced in the beginning, is to observe the meetings, conduct, taking note of the role of the contributions of the role takers, and give constructive feedback. And I'll proceed right away to that. I know we're seriously set back for time, so I'll take a minimalist approach and try and be as concise as possible. But from the get-go, I can say we had a fantastic meeting. I could even end my evaluation there. I think it was a meeting of excellence, an evening of excellence. Before coming to the meeting, I had a chat with President Kevin, who told me, be as critical as possible. So I came with a red pen, but only to find that I have very few things to point out by way of areas of improvement, but we had so much to celebrate from this evening. I'll take a very unconventional approach to my report. Maybe start by a few general notes on a few critical areas where I believe we've done well, with some areas for improvement. The first one is we started on time, 7 on the dot. So that was a strength. It's very clear that Watabaruku is conscious of time management. But right now we're a bit delayed. So it's an area of strength in terms of start time, but maybe an area where we also need to look at in terms of proceedings and finishing on time. The second one is opening and guest experience. I thought we did a stellar job on that. President Kevin and the ESCO were ready a few minutes to the meeting, and they welcomed us all very well. President Kevin started the meeting with his very warm and strong tone, as usual. He acknowledged guests by name. He also explained why we're here. He talked about Toastmasters. He introduced Watabaruku as the first bilingual club. And indeed, this evening was a bilingual meeting, a reminder to me to come with my Swahili dictionary next time. So very well done on that, President Kevin. And then Madam SAA, Toastmaster Nima, took over and excellently shared the meeting etiquette. So we had a very strong opening for all of us, but I'm sure it also kind of reflects on the guest experience because they know why we're here and what we're all about. And they were also acknowledged. So that's a very, a point very well done. The last point I want to speak on is organization. I think it was clear from the opening and the progress, with details like our names were edited promptly, maybe by the SA, to make sure we're all recognized with our roles in the clubs where we come from, as well as guests. There were links to give feedback to speeches. Am I still online? We have a power interruption.
Yes, you are still online. You can proceed, Tigist. I don't believe we have you now. Tigist?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we can actually see you. You are bond ready. Proceed.
Thank you. I'm using my phone torch actually to read okay, light is back. Sorry about that. So it was very clear from these details that there was excellent organization. All roles were also ably filled. So fantastic job overall in terms of organization and the conduct of the meeting. Let me make very quick comments on the role takers. The first part was the speeches. We had fantastic speeches, excellent themes on burning topics, I thought, money and six packs. So I was at the edge of my seat. And they were excellently evaluated. The evaluations were stellar, truly. They were thorough, they were thoughtful, constructive, and supportive. So I really noted nothing significant by way of improvement for the evaluators. So well done to all of you. The table topics was also excellently managed by Toastmaster Nima, although under incredible time pressure. And it's good that she received guidance to make sure we pace the meeting in a way that even if we delay, it will be a manageable level of delay. So well done. The team was also aligned with overall theme. Toastmaster Nima also asked, people to volunteer to participate. So that was great. Moving on to the role takers, specifically the grammarian and the timer. On the grammarian role, TM Frida, initially I was a bit doubtful about the choice of the word of the day, minimalist, because I thought it was limiting because I know the word only related to lifestyle, but I think it pushed us to be creative. Although it wasn't used as much, I think we really had to think about its other applications. So in the end, I found it to be a strong choice of word. So, thank you very much for that. On the timer role that was shared between Toastmaster Rahma and Toastmaster Faith, they both meticulously kept track of time, but I think we were very much disadvantaged because of the technical glitches. They were not able to show the cards and aid speakers to remain on time. So that was a bit of, quite a significant disadvantage, I thought, because, the time element is also a very big part of Toastmasters, all of us keeping track, also the speakers being aided to be able to manage the time they're given. So perhaps we need to anticipate such challenges for the next meeting, given the critical, nature of the role, and support timers to be able to execute the role very well. But lastly, certainly not the least, our fantastic TMOE, Toastmaster Arether, who did the heavy lifting. She, TMOD role is acrobatics, right? You're trying to keep the meeting alive while also keeping tabs on time and many other elements. So it's not for the faint at heart, but you've done an excellent job. You brought a very upbeat and relevant team, given that we're at the start of the year and all of us are being very ambitious with our plans, So you got this. I thought was an excellent choice of team. You ably managed the podium. We introduced the role takers well. You had very interesting questions for people to share, their intentions for the year and inspire us all. So very well done. And truly, the only setback I think we had to today's meeting was time. And that would be my challenge to you, Madam TMOD, and the EXCO and the role takers. Maybe next time we do the starting part very well, but how do we also finish strong on the timing? So that is what I've noted as a serious disadvantage, but you've got this. So let me swiftly conclude by saying this was an evening of excellence, which is not rare for Watabaruku. So I just want to finish by thanking the EXCO, the role takers today, Madam Temoi, Toastmasters present, and guests for your contributions to make this meeting as good as it was. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our general evaluator, for that succinct feedback. We definitely do take feedback very seriously, and we are taking into account everything you've said. We will improve. And when you do come back next time, you will note a marked improvement. It is only the 17th day of January. I don't want to say the year is running yet, but we are well on our way to starting, we'll be on our way not to be telling each other Happy New Year. And I know that with each meeting, we shall be able to make better improvements. Allow me to conclude by saying that I want to repeat Freedom Wanyasi's feedback. Fear is not a barrier, but a signal that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. So whatever butterflies you have about getting that six-pack, whatever issues you may be having about not taking on your next speech, or, Dr. Kevin approaching that lady that perhaps you've been eyeing somewhere, or achieving your DTM status, or starting to run, or even eating better, whatever it is, that fear that you feel, it's just a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Embrace it and let it fuel your growth. You've got this, team. Thank you for all your support. Over to you, Mr. President, to conclude this meeting.
Thank you very much, our Toastmaster of the evening, Arether Wanjiru. Strong round of applause, everyone, for Arether Wanjiru for a job well done. Indeed, you had this, you got this, you have this. I think from here going forward, we recommend that you can go ahead and add to your resume, works well under pressure. Congratulations and all the best. I'd like to thank all the role takers of the evening. Thank you all for showing up and doing such an amazing job. Thank you all for all the role for an amazing meeting that we've had this evening. Sergeant at Arms, can you allow me to invite you to share the polls for the evening? Sergeant at Arms, are the polls ready?
Yes, they are. Apologies. Let me kindly, there we are. Okay. Please confirm you can all see my screen. Perfect. Okay, drum rolls, please. That is our better speaker for today. And applause. Next, we have our better table topic speaker for today. Congratulations, DTM Janie Mule. And then next, our better evaluator. For the better evaluator position, we had a tie between our club president, Toastmaster Kevin Kimbio, congratulations, and distinguished Toastmaster Jared Oku, congratulations. Thank you, everyone, and well done for the great delivery in your various different roles. You have been a shining example for others to be able to emulate. Keep it up. Back to you.
Thank you very much, our able SA and Emma Siwingwa, for the polls. Indeed, allow me to quote Job Koriandungo from Kericho Gold Toastmasters when he said that we are all like software packages, and from time to time, we all require an upgrade. We are slightly a bit over time, but we are about to conclude. And in the next meetings, definitely there will be massive upgrades on how our time is spent. At this point, I would like to call to a close meeting number 108 of Watabaruku Toastmasters with a quote. And the quote is, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. So why not think you've got it? And that is a quote adapted from Ford from America. Thank you all for joining us this evening, and I wish you all a good evening. Thank you all.